Outside of
Uh,
Goodfellas, what would you say your favorite Ray Liotta movie is?
Damn, Leota. Kramer comes in and he just drops a nuclear bomb in the room. Is like, hey man, remember Antonio the busboy? He's coming.
He's like,
He's coming right
yeah,
now.
he's like downstairs.
She's the Pet Cemetery version of him.
You might be onto something, Matt. Like she knows where some bodies are.
I'm telling you, it's the good son, but it's Lily. It's the good daughter.
Happened in the 90s.
Dude, shout out to Clark the Shark though. We need to have that dude on much more
Yeah,
often.
unique, man. Like just one of one.
Cool dude in LA. Cool dude about town in LA.
Apparently, man.
Just a mensch.
That's our password. If we ever when you go back to LA, tell me I know Clark the Shark.
Yeah, they'll let me
Red
through.
carpet.
They'll give me the VIP treatment. I know it. If I go to the Valley for sure, he's a Valley legend, and not like as a porno guy, as a good guy. You know, he's not out there Dirk Diggling it, or at least I don't think
Clean and
so.
wholesome, man. Like a TGIF show.
Yeah,
I could see Clark on one of those shows, like the next door neighbor, or I don't know, maybe yeah, one of
dude,
the buddies.
he was a very hilarious white boy in the Gang Inc. show that we shot. He was fucking fantastic. He was also the guy being arrested by Chris Hansen in a skit that we filmed, which was great. So shout out.
And
Late night, Steve. Late recording for those watching right now on the
on the
lives.
late night tip,
After
yeah, like 36 Mafia. With outside of Goodfellas, what would you say your favorite Ray Liotta movie is?
damn Leota. Dude, I'm honestly I might have to throw unlawful entry up in this fucking mix, Steve. He's great in this.
Man, I'm surprised you just now seeing it. I like of all the Ray Liotta movies, like this is and Kurt Russell. This is one of the ones to watch.
I mean, we're gonna get to that, but let me just bring up Ray Liotta's got credits upon credits. Rest in peace to a legend, by the way. I saw his last performance, which was Cocaine Bear.
Hey,
Wasn't too thrilled with. I mean, it was
I
all
hate
right,
I hate that
but
that's how my guy went out, man. Like, damn, it couldn't be anything like Oscar worthy. It's Cocaine Bear. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would have taken a Chantix commercial before fucking Cocaine Bear. But
Like,
let's just go down this because I mean, he had a couple of things like recently. I mean, he's always been working. But let's go back to the 90s. Let's go back to when it really fucking mattered, Steve. He was in Field of Dreams, which is dope. I wouldn't notably like mention him as like one of the main people in that,
but he counts.
but he's in. He's a pivotal role. Movie that I loved came out right after Unlawful Entry called No Escape.
Okay.
It's a decent action movie. Karina, which is more of a happy-go-lucky Ray Liotta, Steve. A more family-friendly Ray Liotta. He's not trying to fuck your
Tap
wife.
into
He's
yeah.
trying to get a wife. He was on Frasier. Oh, just as a voice. Okay. And here's the one, Steve. We're gonna get into a couple here. This is a ridiculous movie that's
And
hilarious.
oh,
Turbulence.
I thought you were going to say the other
Th-
one that's ridiculous.
What's that?
Operation Dumbo Drop.
No, fuck that. That's not something to watch unless you just are like stuck. Oh, here's another great one. It didn't come out in the 90s. Personal fave of mine, Hannibal. He gets his brain eaten by Hannibal Lecter while he's still alive, which is pretty
Well,
dope.
if we're
That's a pretty cool
if we're
credit.
going outside the '90s, you got to throw Blow in there. That might be my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't he the
he
dad?
was the dad, and it's a complete polar opposite from his role in Unlawful Entry, and that shows how great he is, man. He can play a shitty like Denzel from Training Day type cop to this like sensitive, very caring and nurturing dad, and the dynamic of that family in Blow. It was different because usually the troubled son goes to the mom and he's a mama's boy, where it was the opposite. Like his mom basically like shat on him and called him a loser and this, that, and where his dad, he was trying to ride for him the whole time, even when he went to jail.
He was that dude. He was the supportive, like,
The
good
good dad,
dad,
like,
even though his son was a fucking chud. And this, honestly, Steve, it's not a movie. But for me, this is one of the all-time great things that Ray Liotta did. He was the voice of Tommy Vercetti in Grand Theft Auto Vice
That's true.
City.
Yeah.
That's
forgot about
dope.
that.
Especially being an actor who was like, fuck it, I'll do a voiceover on a game. And what a game to be a voiceover for. What a perfect casting. He's good in Copland
gonna
too.
say.
I'm not, it's not my favorite movie, but it's a good ass movie. It's just, I don't know. It's not my favorite.
People sleep on Copland.
I'm sleeping on it right now, Steve. But coming in before this week, I would never even have known what Unlawful Entry was. I'm saying Officer P. Davis might be his greatest role, Steve.
I mean,
It's his Cape Fear. Outside of Goodfellas, Unlawful Entry, dude. Throw that in. Him and fucking Kurt Russ
yeah.
and that deep voice bitch with the little
Madeline
titties.
Stowe
Oh yeah,
got them baby nipples, baby. But
yeah, dude. But shout out to Liotta, dude. He plays a great scumbag, plays a great dad. I guess it's just a testament to him being a great actor. It's called range, you know?
he was one of them ones. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Limp Bizkit posters and your Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and say do 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 do.
It's like the best, just like beatboxing I can do, Steve.
Yeah, you can do the Seinfeld too. Like, I don't know.
You just have to go.
Today, my friend, we're talking all things 626 in the 90s. Starting off in 1991, Seinfeld is airing season 2, episode 12, The Busboy. George tries to apologize to a busboy after one of his comments got him fired. Elaine tries to get one of her male friends out of her house.
Another classic, Steve.
Early,
Another one. Yeah, hell yeah.
they haven't fleshed out their characters yet, man.
Well, even without the fully fleshed out characters, this one was fucking great.
Oh yeah. It's fun to see like the roots where it started. Like this is season 2, and before they fully blossom into like the iconic pop cultural characters that we know, like you could see they're getting like a feel for everything still.
Well, I think especially for George, we get a lot of like what we want to see out of George in this. The manic, just insanity of him,
Neurotic.
and just the bad luck. George is like a bad luck magnet, and this episode just fully encompasses that.
Totally.
Even when he's trying to be a good guy, he just fucks it up somehow, you know?
And we start this off with Jerry doing one of his bits at the comedy show, and he's talking about how he's not a foodie. He gets sick of people who are so particular with their orders. This is too much. This is too salty. This is too that. Just shut up and eat it. I hate them people too.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm fully there with Jerry on that. I also like where he's like, what is with this book we put the check in? Is this the story of the meal? That's a good point, Jerry.
He has some valid ones.
And then we go to a restaurant where we see George, Jerry, and Elaine eating. It's not the diner, Steve. This is more of a fancy Italian joint. As always, George, he's moping, pissed off. He went to an Italian place, and why do you go with the pesto? Why do I always think I'm going to like pesto?
He feels like he's supposed to because everyone's talking about the pesto. It's the pesto, pesto, pesto.
I actually like pesto, Steve, so I'm going to stick up for pesto. It's a delicious treat, but I get it. You go to Olive Garden and you go against your usual order and it sucks. It sucks. You know, there's nothing worse than that. Jerry points out some guy in a ball cap, and I like this. He's just like 9 out of 10. That guy's got hair plugs. Just some pettiness, which everybody does at a restaurant. We all do this. Just silently, well, not even silently, judge people, you know, that you're looking
It's
at.
like a Visa card. I take my pettiness everywhere I go.
Exactly, dude. And Elaine, she's got a friend coming over, you know? And everyone's like, oh, guy coming in. What's up? They're just friends, Steve, that shared an intimate moment.
I think he was in town. Yeah, got it cracking. And apparently he's only going to be staying for a week.
Week, though, Steve. That's a long time. Hopefully it goes okay.
It's enough time.
Um, definitely been in that situation, but turns bad. But as they're talking, we see like in the background, this busboy is like doing some stuff, and he leaves like a menu, I guess, like touching a candle or something. Something catches fire.
Yeah.
And George, being constantly on his toes, sees this immediately, puts the fire out. There's no issue. But then I think the owner or somebody comes out and is like, what's going on here? And George's like joking about it, but he's like, busboy left some over here, caught fire, and the guy's like, oh, and George's like, no, it's fine, it's cool. And I think he says it or Jerry says it's like, I'm never coming
Oh
here
no,
again.
Elaine says that.
Yeah, somebody says it. So it's a joke. It's no big deal, Steve. Maybe they shouldn't have said some of that stuff.
Because when they go back to the
You know?
table, they turn around and the busboy's getting chewed out, and now they're like, man, like it's all because of me, and now they're pointing at me. Why did he just point at me, Jerry? It can't be because of me.
And Elaine's like, wait, was it the joke? Do you think it was? He knew I was kidding, right? Like it wasn't a joke.
And Jerry's just like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm out. I like Jerry's position in this because he has no stake in the game. He can just observe. He doesn't have to feel anything. But George and Elaine both feeling kind of fucked up about what just happened because Busboy's out of jobs, Steve. You know?
Go get another job.
And that's literally what Jerry's saying in the next scene. He's like, fucking around busboys all the time. They're constantly getting a new job. That's what their busboy life is.
I talked to a lot of them.
Don't worry about that guy.
At the comedy show.
Back on his feet in no time. And as they're kind of discussing this, I mean, George is spinning at this point about this whole thing. Elaine comes in and is like, I'm a clever little chickadee. And it turns out she actually found the busboy. She got the address. She found out who it is and where he's at. She's done what she needs to do. She gives that to George and is like, do with this what you will, make amends. But she's not in it because she's got some dick coming into town, Steve. So she can't really make that trip.
Ed, yeah, her and Ed get to the bed, and George, he wastes no time, man. He heads over to the busboy's apartment, but as he's doing that, Kramer comes in, and Jerry's like, "Hey, man, why don't you just wait? Like after I do my show?" He's like, "Well, no, dude, I got to get this now. Why don't you let Kramer go with you as backup, just in case?"
He actually is like, dude, it's kind of like dangerous. You just got this guy fired. I don't know if it's a good idea that you just drop in on this dude and like, even if you're apologizing. So rightfully so. I mean, this is New York, Steve.
And it's Kramer. You're just like, man, strength in numbers.
I mean, I don't like Kramer as a person and as a human being, but he's a giant dude. So he could at least like drop a big boot on a dude or something,
A lariat, I don't know. And then they make it to the busboy's spot. And George tells Kramer, I appreciate you for coming, but hear me out. Try not to say shit.
Yeah, don't say anything, okay? Please. It's already uncomfortable. So finally, the busboy opens up the door. I know this guy, Steve. I can't place what movie this dude's from. He was in a lot of shit.
He looks familiar.
He almost looks like Eddie Torres from New York Undercover, but it's not him. To be honest with you, I think this guy was actually in an Adam Sandler, Damon Wayans movie called Bulletproof, but that's neither here nor there. He opens the door. George and Kramer let themselves in. But this guy is stonewalling him, Steve. He's not saying anything. I don't know if he doesn't speak English. We don't know at this point. He's like standing nose to nose with George. I feel like at this point, he's about to throw a fucking haymaker. It looks that way, Steve.
And he's searching for the words to say. He's being careful, and he just really wants to apologize. While he's doing that, the busboy, he notices that his cat's not there. He goes searching around, and then he sees the doors left open. So immediately he thinks, man, my cat just left when y'all came in. Who left the door open? Who left the door open?
Yeah, Spanish. Buck Spanish. He knows English, Steve. He gets that much out. Now George and Kramer have to help this guy look for his cat because now he's out of a job and a pet. Yeah, that's not great. I feel like if anything, now you're in more physical danger than you were before. But
here's my thing.
Whatever.
Like they're just sitting there in the next scene. Like, man, you must not care about that cat that much. Y'all just sitting at the table. I get it. You're pissed, but like action. Underlay.
It's New York. I mean, how many cats are out there? You could just go out there and just go get a new cat, dude. They're everywhere. And also, they come back. I think Kramer might even say that. I think Kramer's like trying to like lighten the mood a little bit. He's like, cats come leave and come back all the time. That's kind of their vibe. He's trying to smooth things over, but he keeps adding like weird shit too. The Kramer shit.
Yeah, it's like you're edging out of the situation, but you bring yourself back in. And not only did the man lose his cat, Kramer breaks his lamp.
I mean, this guy, his life is getting fucked up. Add an apology on for that. That's an IOU. That's our bad. And George gives to add another dickhead comment to this guy. This guy's got nothing. He's living by himself in an apartment. He's lost his cat. Got a fucked up light now. George is like, you know what? We're going to get out of here. Super sorry about everything. Here's my card. I'm in real estate. So just give me a call sometime, whenever you're ready to move again.
Yeah.
If.
Looking for something better.
Yeah, dude. And then as they leave, Kramer had put like the piece back on the light. And they shut the door, and the piece just falls away. Just another fuck you to this guy.
And then coming back to Jerry's, he's on the phone with George. George is stressing about this. Jerry's trying to calm him down, like, dude, he's not going to kill you. He's not going to stalk you. It'll be all right. And then Kramer, he comes back, and he's like, dude, he wants to know when you can help him find the cat. It's like, dude, that's not my problem. But you told him.
It's up to the cat now.
Yeah. And Jerry's playing middleman the whole time. Kramer's like, man, let me talk to him. Dude, call him on your phone.
I like how Jerry's like, he doesn't know where you live. Why'd you give him a card with your name and address?
Hello, motherfucker.
So the guy does know where he lives. That's now gone. I mean, the problem's kind of out there, Steve. This busboy can fuck himself at this point. But then Elaine comes in. She's got Ed downstairs, and she needs Jerry's car. She needs to be sure, 100%, 110% if possible, that all the bases are covered. She's got to get Ed the fuck out of New York City because this guy is a downer, bringing her down. The sex the first time, I guess, was great, but the conversation must not be shit, Steve, because she is pissed.
He's a great guy, but she hates his guts. This time around, they haven't even done the yada, yada, yada. The whole time, she told him that she was on her blood stains.
She on them bloodies. But Jerry assures her that the car's fine. He's going over like these sort of New York things like, what's your route? What's the route to get to the airport? She actually got a secret special route from a taxi driver who peeped her onto something for like an extra 5 spot or something. So everything's kind of locked in. If this was a bank heist, all the bases are covered, but she has to get Ed out of town.
Yeah, certainly. And we come back to another Jerry bit where he's doing this comedy shtick, man, and he has another valid point. He's talking about flying doesn't make him nervous. It's the driving to the airport that makes him nervous. It's not like they have a cannon where if you miss your flight, you can just hop into the cannon and they're just like, hey, so you're going to be in Dallas? You're going to be in Chicago? I wish they did, though.
Yeah, like Super Mario, that would be pretty fucking dope.
That's the worst part, though, man. When I get on the plane, I'm on the plane. We're going to take off eventually. But like making it there, like, did I get here on time? Is there going to be a delay? Is there going to be a long line? All of that stuff is racing in your head.
And I'm usually on a heavy edible at that point. So I'm just
coasting.
I'm coasting, but I'm also stressing inside in only the way that you can when you're that high on an edible. But then we cut to the next morning, Steve, and all those well-laid plans that Elaine had, we forgot to say she got a new alarm clock. That was one of the things Jerry said. And she's like, no, I got one that does it all. This shit will call my mother if I don't wake up. It's got so many options. But apparently she didn't plug it in or something fucked up because when she does wake up, they got like an hour to get to the airport, Steve. Ed's already like, let's just fucking chill, babe. Maybe their period's over. And she's like, no. And she's like throwing shit around. She's getting him on his ass. He keeps making excuses, and she'd put him on her back if she could.
Where's my brown sweater? I can't find it. And she gives him her sweater.
Here it is. It's like, this is your sweater. This isn't my sweater. Shut up. It's fucking brown, you little
Where's
bitch.
my shoes? Man, fuck your shoes. What about the people who was making it around before shoes were made, huh? You'd be all right.
Doesn't look like they're going to make that flight, Steve. But we cut to Jerry's. Him and George are having a very interesting conversation where George is like the Rain Man of knowing a great bathroom no matter what location you give him in New York City. Apparently, this was something that Jerry Seinfeld found out about Larry David. Larry David actually did this in a conversation with Jerry, and that's why they did this in the show.
Very apropos for a Larry David conversation.
They're like, yeah, fifth and whatever. He's like, that's easy. There's a library with a golden toy. You know, he knows it all, Steve. He knows where the wet wipes are. He knows where the
bidets,
the nice stalls are, all that shit. He's a Rain Man of bathrooms. We can give him that.
But Elaine, she walks in and we find out that despite all of her efforts, they didn't make it on time. And now Ed is not at the airport about to depart. He's actually downstairs looking for a parking spot.
She had it all. She's in like this weird like flow state whenever she gets into the apartment too. She's like, I've never driven so fast in my life. It's like very monotone. She's like, I was there. I hit every turn. I hit every light. But then I got to the Van Wyck. And they say that nobody can beat the Van Wyck. I came as close as anyone humanly possibly could to doing it. But God damn it.
That 5-car pilot.
Right at the end. So yeah, Ed's downstairs, and then Kramer comes in, and he just drops a nuclear bomb in the room. He's like, "Hey man, remember Antonio the busboy? He's coming. He's coming right now.
He's like downstairs."
So George is terrified. He's trying to like figure out a way to jump out a window safely. Antonio gets there, and he's looking intense, Steve. He's looking almost a little more intense than he was in his apartment the other day. You know?
I'd be shitting my pants if I was George, but when Antonio comes in, he tells him, like, you know, that restaurant that I was fired from, they just had a gas and it killed everyone inside, including my replacement. And I have you to thank. If it wasn't for you, I'd be dead. I'd be in that restaurant. Thank you, George. Mucho gracias.
And on top of all that, on top of just, you know, he has his life, Steve. He's out looking for his cat, got a new job, paid even better.
Yeah.
Then when he came home, fucking cat's back.
Everything.
Right?
Everything.
I think so.
Yeah, everything's in the right place.
He's happy, dude. Antonio's a nice guy. I like a guy who he sees an opportunity to give people their propers, you know, like they came and apologized. Antonio's a stand-up busboy, Steve. He wants to say thank you. Gracias.
As Antonio leaves, you hear or overhear him arguing with Ed.
I like Ed's like, hey man, watch where you it's so fucking nerdy. Hey man, watch where you're going. And fight ensues, Steve. I think they might both be dead because we hear him falling down some steps.
Man, Ed was denied some sniz for a whole week. I'd be tight too. What'd you say to me?
And he's losing his hair, dude. He's losing his hair. He just had to find a parking spot, street parking in New York City, which that has to be goddamn impossible. So Antonio just walked into a powder keg, Steve, and let him match. Sucks.
I understand, Ed. I feel your pain.
Then we cut to the diner, and I love that. Shout out, Ed. We get it. We've all been there. You're gonna get back. You're gonna get that pussy someday. Next scene, we're in the diner. They're still talking about this busboy. Jerry's like, dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna get another job as soon as he heals and can walk again. You know, so that fight didn't go great.
When the cast comes in.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then Elaine's like, they say something, and she's like, oh yeah, I'd love to, except I can't do shit. She has to help heal Ed, Steve. He's stuck here until his injuries heal.
Yeah. We go to another Jerry bit on stage, and he's like, man, I can't believe people fight, or even boxing for that matter. You have two guys who they didn't have any arguments before. Maybe that's what we should do. You know, give each of them a car, drive around in circles. Like maybe they'll get into an accident. Be like, hey, man, that wasn't you. And then they're ready for a fight.
Good episode. I loved it. I'm loving every episode we watch of Seinfeld. So at this point, we haven't had a bad one.
Yeah.
So we're like 10 for 10.
And this is actually the only Seinfeld episode where Jerry's not a part of any of the storylines.
I like this because he gets to just sit back and be like, you guys are screwed. Like have that kind of energy.
And this was also the first time two different stories collided at the end of a Seinfeld episode. And that's kind of like their calling card. We've covered episodes where that's happened, where like this character is dealing with this angle, that character's dealing with that angle, and then by the end of the episode, they bump heads. This is the first episode where that happened.
Yeah, it's kind of like a signature thing of the show, I feel like.
Yeah. I bet you don't know who was watching or not watching it in 1991.
Who, Steve?
Probably Larry Johnson, because he was the first pick in the NBA draft from UNLV.
Grandmama. Dude, Larry Johnson, one of the 90s sports celebrities that he got a lot of shine. He was a very popular player on a very popular team. I know I had a lot of Larry Johnson merchandise. We all loved him. We loved the gold tooth. We loved the look. The dude was a beast as far as an athlete.
And also in 91, Kenny Anderson, I don't know if you remember him. He was an all-star for the Nets. And Dikembe, he was picked number 4. RIP to that legend. Right after Dikembe, you had Steve Smith. He was one of those like not Hall of Fame players, but I always liked him as a role player. And Terrell Brandon,
He was like Allen Houston to me.
like Allen Houston. I love Allen Houston. Another one of those like I can play the wing. I can do a 3 or a 2. Luke Longley was a part of this. Pick number 7. You had Terrell Brandon. He played for the Cavs for a little bit. Was an all-star. Dale Davis, Greg Anthony, Chris Gatling.
Damn, that was a pretty star-studded draft.
It was good.
I mean, those aren't huge names, but those are pretty big-ass names. I mean, Kenny Anderson was a fucking ledge.
Kenny Anderson was the point guard for the Nets. He played with Derek Coleman, and he had at least one all-star season.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I remember this dude. Hell yeah. Damn, Derek Coleman. That's another name I haven't thought of in a long time.
Who was the number 1 pick that previous year, 1990. That following year, 1992, Unlawful Entry premieres. A creepy policeman gets close to a Los Angeles couple in order to drive them apart. Directed by Jonathan Kaplan, starring Kurt Russell, Ray Liotta, Madeline Stowe, and Roger E. Mosley.
Karen. It's weird that he has these movies where that's like what he's yelling the whole time, you know?
Right. I was just going to say that. Yeah. Old girl from Sopranos.
We were talking about it earlier. Never saw it. Huge Kurt Russell fan. I mean, I like Ray Liotta, but he doesn't bring me to the movies. Like, I'll watch anything Kurt Russell does. All of it. Tango and Cash, Captain Ron, anything. Freaking Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, yeah.
We can keep going on and on and
Even
on.
his old Disney stuff?
I don't give a shit. So, it's a little weird. Let's put it like
The
that.
kid-
Dude, it's Kurt. It's the Russ, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Pork Chop Express.
Yeah, that's Goldie Hawn's baby daddy.
And in this, I like everybody's role in this. Madeline Stowe, I'm not a huge fan.
I can
of.
tell.
I don't like the deep voice. I don't like the big eraser nipples. I just don't like the vibe. I don't like, honestly, that she's kind of being a little bit of a. She's kind of looking at Ray Liotta in this
Yeah.
movie a little bit too close. And as Kurt Russell, if I was Kurt Russell, I'd be totally pissed off. And we get to see that a little bit. We see him bridle a little bit where he's like, man, what the fuck are you? What's that look?
It's kind of a docile man in this movie. I don't like that for Kurt. I mean, yeah.
To me, what he looks like is just like some rich like tech guy in California. He's got a nice house. We're not really sure. I mean, I guess he's like a party promoter or like some sort of like club. He just buys like property. I don't know
Yeah, I
exactly
have no idea
what his
what the
job
fuck
is.
he was doing.
But he's kind of just like nerdy guy in California. He's doing his business and whatnot. But he goes from that to having this beautiful wife to then this break-in occurs that just is kind of like nuts. And by the end, Liotta comes and investigates. They kind of befriend Liotta because he's kind of nice at first. He's playing like this like cool sociopathic dude, but you can tell he's kind of got the eye for Kurt Russell's wife. As soon as he sees the bitch, he's like, oh, it's the Wayne's World. His arc in this is a guy who's like a mild-mannered like dude, business owner, to going to jail to becoming like killing a cop.
The whole thing with Madeline Stowe, I feel like she planted a seed. Like when she's having that 101 session with Ray Liotta, she's like, so why are you single? That would make Ray Liotta think like, man, I think she kind of like me. She making it seem like I should be taken off the market. So I'm a shout at her.
And Ray Liotta's kind of like, when you see what his life is like, he's kind of living like this bad lieutenant life where he's just like fucking hookers in the car. You know, he's a cop, but he's just kind of like seedy and kind of just fucked up. Keeps calling chicks whores when he's having sex with that prostitute. Like, it's just kind of, it's very like pimps up, hose down, where it's like, this is sad. I don't like this.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a cop, I don't know if I would do anything differently outside of the killing innocent people part. He even killed his partner, Roger E. Mosley. I always remember him from Magnum PI. He was Tom Selleck's like sidekick on that show. But Roger E. Mosley,
Oh, hell
yeah,
yeah.
his partner in this, man, he basically like turned the tables. Like they were chasing down this drug dealer, then they make it to his apartment, and then he shoots his partner, plants the gun on the drug dealer, and then as he runs away, shoots the drug dealer in the back. I was like, man, this is next level sinister.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's pulling out all the fucking stops. Like he's a shitty guy, but then he has, like, you're right. He has this cop buddy who seems to just kind of know that he's cool with them, but he's like, this guy's kind of fucking weird. This guy's kind of crazy. But yeah, that was wild. And then Ray Liotta's he realizes Kurt Russell's onto him and is like pissed off. And this is why the moral of this story to me in this movie, Steve, is do not befriend a cop. Because if something goes wrong, he will fuck your life up the way Liotta does. Because he not only is trying to fuck Kurt Russell's wife openly, once he's found out to like that Kurt Russell doesn't want him around, he keeps like insisting to be around and like pushing that way. Then he plants drugs on Kurt Russell and gets him locked the fuck up in LA jail and just starts taunting him.
Yeah.
Coming to jail and being like, hey, what's up, bro? I'm going to take good care of your wife. Maybe you can come visit us after you get out. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Put a boot on his car and somehow maxed out his credit card. How the fuck did you do that in the 90s?
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I mean, this movie's great. From like, it's a little slow beginning, but that's to get you ramped up to the end where it just goes full loco. I mean, Liotta's trying to rape the wife. He's turned full like heel on the wife and is like, you're a little fucking whore, aren't you, Karen? You're a little cock tease, Karen. While Kurt Russell's getting out of jail, speeding over there to like, which he doesn't even realize he's actually saving his wife's life at that point. But yeah, the climax is great. Liotta, you see a bad guy get he gets blown the fuck away. Love that. And I gotta say, Steve, I looked up one fact in this, and this is to give Madeline Stowe a little bit of credit. There's a pretty sexy sex scene in this movie where Kurt Russell and his wife just start banging, I guess because they're scared. It's a weird moment for them to bang, but they do have a sesh. And I guess Kurt Russell and Madeline Stowe refused body doubles for that sex scene, Steve. That's them smanging.
Kurt was like, nah,
Fake.
I got this.
let me show my stroke off real quick.
You can get thrown through the window and do all the other stuff, fall on your face, but I'm gonna do this. We good. Just sit this one out.
Oh my God, Kurt.
Like, Ray Liotta's role was even nominated for Best Villain in the MTV Movie Awards that year, but he lost to Jennifer Jason Leigh in Single White Female.
I don't even agree with that.
either.
I don't like that movie. I don't care for it. So I would say no. Liotta killed this, and Jennifer Jason Leigh can just maybe in absentia just give him this award back.
Posthumously.
Posthumously. Yeah, exactly. Whatever that word is. But yeah, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. But for a movie I'd never heard of, fucking fantastic. This is the best way to find out about a great movie. Something you just have no expectations of, and you're like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking great.
Man, educating ourselves while educating the masses. But somebody who probably didn't watch this in 1992 is American wrestler Buddy Rogers. We would lose him at the age of 71. The original Nature Boy, the OG Nature Boy.
There was another Nature Boy, Steve?
There were a couple Nature Boys.
Rogers?
Yeah, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, Nature Boy Buddy Landell, and the one that we all know, Nature Boy Ric Flair. But yeah, he's the original, man. He used to work for Vince Sr., and then when Junior took over, he did some behind the scenes stuff, but like epic career, man. He actually had like a fight in his later years in Florida. There was a guy assaulting 2 female employees at a hoagie shop, and he told him to like stop the shouting. The man called him old, and so Rogers, he pushed the man into the wall, threw it, and the guy threw a chair at him. Rogers fought back. He threw the man 5 feet into a refrigerator. Then he hit him in the stomach, knocking him into the kitchen. Beat the shit out of the guy, man.
I love that.
But yeah,
Getting your ass cooked by a guy named Buddy, that's got to hurt a little bit extra, though. You know,
even if he was the nature boy. That following year, 1993, we would also lose American baseball player and coach Roy Campanella at the age of 71 as well, man. He was one of the guys who made it big in the Negro League, and then he, along with Jackie Robinson, would play for the Brooklyn Dodgers, breaking that color barrier.
it sounds familiar. I can't place it though.
Yeah, he's a part of the Dodgers lore, and honestly, bro, this whole time I thought Roy Campanella was a white guy. The real Roy Campanella, he's mixed. He's black and white.
I got to be honest. I think when you said Roy Campanella, I was picturing Lou Piniella.
Yeah.
Fucking the coach. Okay. Yeah, this guy's black. This guy's definitely not all white, but he's, I guess he could pass as like an Italian dude.
Yeah, maybe back in the day, he was able to get into certain clubs and restaurants. Like,
Campy. Roy Campanella. Dude, I love this. This guy, of course, he's from Philly, though. That story you told just sounded like somebody from Philly. Yeah, he just beat the shit out of some fucking guy in a deli.
No, that was Nature Boy I was talking about that beat up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's late, Steve. I'm conflating stories. But Roy Campanella, dude. So he played, but he was also a coach?
Yeah, he was player in the Negro League and the MLB, and then he eventually be a coach.
Hell yeah, dude. Roy Campy.
No, I don't think he was a coach. What the fuck are we talking about?
Okay.
But shout out to Roy Campanella, man. In 1996, the NBA draft is held again, and the first pick is Allen Iverson from the University of Georgetown.
Oh, yeah.
To a lot of people, this is considered the greatest draft of all time. I don't know, man. I'm kind of partial to that 84 draft with Akeem Olajuwon and Barkley and Jordan and Stockton. But, I mean, this one, it had Iverson. It had Kobe, Steve Nash. I think Ben Wallace was a part of that draft. Ray Allen was a part of that draft. Some pretty big names,
Damn.
man.
AI, though, dude. Talking about practice. This motherfucker, he made me like a Philadelphia team. Like I'm a man without really any allegiance to a basketball team. I like who I like. It's especially as a kid, I like the Bulls a lot. But like, I've liked the Pistons for a little bit. I've liked the Sixers. But this guy, dude, I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. I feel like he's up there.
For sure, man. He was a superstar. There's a lot of talk about who's an all-star, who's a superstar. This guy, you can't choose. You can't just like wake up and be like, I'm a superstar. Like the people decide who's a superstar. And he was one of those guys. He's up there to me, just like Kobe, just like MJ, just like LeBron.
Like all those other people, he would just annihilate people single-handedly. He would make the difference in a way that's what a superstar is to me.
Yeah.
It's like one guy that can just like shoulder the load. When they got to the finals that year and they got beasted, I mean, he was sitting there still putting up. I'm sure his numbers were insane.
The step over Tyronn Lue. Yeah, he just.
Hell yeah.
Watch
dude.
him, excuse my step.
Plus, he had an attitude, which was cool, which is great for a Philadelphia team. I'm sure Philadelphia people love that. He's got to be a Philly legend. He is a Philly legend. I know he played for the Nuggets too, right? Like at the end of his career.
He played for the Nuggets and the Pistons towards the end, yeah.
Damn, that's cool. He played for the Pistons. That's dope. What more could we say about AI? This guy is a fucking badass. He deserved to be a number one pick. And I feel like you look at number one picks, sometimes they don't pan out. He panned the fuck out all the way. That's a number one pick where you got all the money. You got it all.
And like to be picked above those others, like Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Kobe Bryant, Peja Stojakovic, Steve Nash, Jermaine O'Neal, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and even Derek Fisher was a part of this draft. Yeah, man, one of the best drafts of all time.
Damn, Derek Fisher, Did he outlast AI in the league? Did he play longer than AI
I believe
did?
so. He stuck around a little
It's
bit
crazy.
longer.
Hell yeah, dude. AI. Plus, that's one of the greatest sound bites of all time. I mean, just him talking about practice. That's, I mean, fantastic.
In 1998, Step by Step is airing season 7, episode 19, Moving On Up. The series finale. Lily is the only family member who is not excited about moving to a bigger house. I'm not excited about you, Lily.
Yeah, Lily, who are you? All the girls got hot and they had to get a young like kid again, so I get it, but come
I
on.
mean, if the other kids are getting ugly, then you bring in the new cutie, whatever. The girls were all right, but put more focus on them. They grew up straight.
Yeah, Al especially.
Al was smoking.
Al went above and beyond all the other
Just
ones. Except I know you have a special place in your heart for Stacy.
Stacy Keach, yeah, she's fine, man. But like Al is really taking over the show at this point.
Did she ever do anything else?
Nothing of note,
Nudity? Oh,
unfortunately. I'll look. I'll look.
yeah, we definitely need to look that up just for the fans. I feel like everybody would like to know if that ever happened. Yeah, dude, step by step, man. Here we are. It's been a long time. We've watched these kids grow up. We watched the girls go from, you know, some young ladies, some young sweet little ladies to some beautiful young women, Steve, like we just said. JT's still basically living as a man child, which I like to see.
Yeah.
Mark, we don't get to see a lot of him, but he looks like Minkus from Boy Meets World a little bit. He's just, I think he's going to get brought up on some kind of a charge later on after the show ends.
And the other son just disappeared. They gave him little Judy treatment. Brandon?
Yeah, Lily killed his ass. They put his she's the Pet Cemetery version of him.
You might be onto something, Matt. Like she knows where some bodies are.
I'm telling you, it's the good son, but it's Lily. It's the good daughter. But yeah, this episode starts and it's very positive. Frank, he's in some kind of construction business, and turns out he actually did so good on this last job that he did with this guy named Barney that the guy saved so much money, he's actually going to sell Frank one of these model homes that they built just at cost, Steve. Very cheap.
He's going to finance it for him. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's a once in a lifetime shot. He keeps saying stuff. The house is amazing. All these things they keep bringing up, it's huge, and everyone's excited. Everybody, but she's got some reservations. Steve, it's they love this house. This is their house,
yeah,
and she's just not sure. This is the first home together. Is it going to be that easy to walk away? And Frank's like, well, did I mention the master suite has a fireplace in it? And she's like, oh, call the realtor.
Let's
please.
make that happen. Everybody's feeling it. But you do notice that Lily excuses herself from the table. And in the background, she's disappointed. She's just like, it's one of those, oh.
Wow. Gonna have a pool and shit. Too young to understand this kind of. This is money shit, little
You ain't
girl.
even got no memories. Like you just came here last season. Who you with?
Shut your ass up, little girl. Fucking stop raining on Frank's parade. You know, fucking he did all this work. The last fucking usable nut he shot off in Carol actually worked. He had this last kid he wasn't expecting. She's kind of a downer, Steve.
Got your little goony goo goo face ass.
So we get that slapping theme song. We see Carol on the phone after we come back to the show, and she gets this concerning call from Lily's teacher, Steve. Seems like Lily's acting out a little bit. She was in gym or she was like playing with some kids, got frustrated, threw a ball on the roof of the school, which I love. I do like that energy. I like that petty energy where it's like, man,
Lily
fuck
said,
you.
fuck this shit.
Now this is happening. Al just looking so hot. She's laughing like, you gonna give her the riot act like you would us? Carol's like, no, I know my baby Lily. She's gonna come in. She's gonna tell me the truth. She's gonna tell me exactly what happened, and we're gonna get through this. But then Lily comes in, and instead of doing what Carol said was gonna happen, she sees Carol and is like, oh shit. Hi, Mom. Hi,
Peace.
Mom. And just tries to bolt. In there, Steve. God knows I've been in this situation as a kid.
The avoidance method. And Carol calls her back in, like, Lily, get your ass in here. She doesn't want to come clean. And Carol's like, hey, why don't you just go upstairs and think about what you did?
I hate you.
Right. I know what I should have did. I could have punched their lights out. Then we cut to the house, the new house, and the place looks dope. They got talking appliances, the toaster doing the Cupid shuffle and everything. Anything you could ask for in 1998 from a house. The girls love the new place, and Lily, she storms in there. She's not a fan. Frank asks, so do you like the house? No. JT calls in from upstairs. He's in the bathroom. It's got a jacuzzi, a steam shower, the whole nine. It sounds like a go. The whole family loves it. We're ignoring Lily's feelings. We don't care. We're ignoring all the mean mugs and little scrunch faces. We thinking about this new house with the fireplace and the master bedroom suite. Fuck your feelings, Lily. Now we're back at the Lambert residence, and JT, he's talking to Frank on the couch, and apparently the buyers are on their way. They've already talked to him over the phone. They get there. I noticed like the lady, the wife, she was the girlfriend of Larry Appleton from Perfect Strangers.
Really? I don't remember that. Her face wasn't that familiar. They're douches, Steve. The main thing they say, and I love this. This is a great, just like kind of 90s joke. They're like, yeah, we're vegans. They mention they're vegans, and Frank's like, oh, that's great. There's Jews and Catholics down the block, so you're good.
Like, what the fuck?
Huh? But they're very interested in this house, Steve, which is great because, Carol and Frank want to offload this thing and get into that new place because it's so plush and nice. They're going to have everything. Frank's going to have his new little like workshop that he can do shit. JT's going to be like pushed up into the attic like the loser that he is to jack off in the attic.
Like Uncle Joey.
Yeah, that's it. That is kind of, yes. He is going to be that someday. But the sale seems to be going through, Steve. These people are motivated.
And Lily makes it back home, and she's like, hi, mommy. Hi, daddy. Who are those people? Oh, baby, those are the people that are going to buy the house. And again, with the scrunchy face. So when they leave, she sits on the couch and talks to her little stuffed doll. It's like, hey, do you want to move, Mr. Buttons? Oh, me neither.
What should I do? Kill them? Okay. That's what she's doing. She's thinking that, Steve. This is actually showing something pretty real because I think as you get older, moving when you're older is usually like pretty cool. You're going to a new spot. Maybe it's a better spot. You're going to get to see, like, get a new place and have like this exciting thing happen. It's a little sad, but for a kid, it's way crazier. So in that way, while Lily is the demon spawn of Satan, I get where she's coming from for this one little thing. I moved when I was little. It sucked.
Especially to Perrysburg. I hated it too.
Yes. You never know. And she could be going to a shit show like that. They're going to a big house. Says to me they might be going into a suburban school district just like Peaburg. So you never know.
With
Next thing you know, Lily's fucking sucking dick for cigarettes.
Fucking the phys ed teacher.
Yeah, I've seen it all. We've seen it 1,000 times, Lily. I hate to see that happen for you. It might happen, Steve, because we come to the next scene, and Lily, again, more trouble at school.
Lily's crashing out.
Yeah, dude. She's acting out. Carol can't get through to this little bitch. So Dana, Dana's like, you know what, Mom? And shout out to Dana, who, we've been talking about Al a lot, but Dana can be my shrink any day of the week, Steve. I'll toss big salads and scrambled eggs to that bitch. She's like, you know what? I've taken a couple psychology classes. I'm an educated woman. Let me see if I can, maybe nudge a little info out of her. And she tries. And Lily's throwing extra shade at her because she says something like "bite me bootsy" or something, or something to that nature, which I don't know.
Yeah, because that's like the name.
Timey fucking. That's like something somebody in like the 50s would say or something, Steve.
Or Baton Rouge rapper.
Put your pussy lips on live. I'll give you $1,000.
It's a badass.
At least a woman who he scorned, Steve. Later, those potential buyers, they're back, Steve. They're planning. They're going through this house. They got to do some checking. They got to mark some stuff up for change. So Frank and Carol are walking through, and as they're walking through, I mean, these people are putting post-it notes on stuff that they want to change. And they're saying some pretty like personal stuff about the changes and just like the overall look of the house, where they're like, who the fuck did this flooring? This is like shoddy workmanship. And Frank's like, that was me. I'm in construction. They're like, oh, thank
shit.
God you didn't build the rest of the house.
Oh yeah, we're about to pull that flooring and then blow up the roof and make that whole shit a whole nother room.
Blow up the roof, Steve. How much? What did you buy? Build a new house at this point.
Yeah.
All the changes. I don't think you guys want this house because I mean, and they're being real douchey about it. Like they go into the kitchen and the wife's like, "Oh, I love this kitchen," and Carol, she's like, "Oh man, so many family meals here. It's so great. We're gonna miss this. It's a chef's kitchen. It's really functional." And the lady's like, "I don't even cook. I just want people to think I can cook." Why would you say this?
And then Carol was like, look, I thought you wanted the house because you actually like the house. And she's like, well, we do. We just want to make it our own. And JT, he doesn't know where he's going to live in this situation. So he's like trying to play both sides. It's like, man, I'm with you. I get the whole you trying to make it your own thing. Like, I like that energy. That apartment, this apartment right here, what y'all going to do with that, though? Oh, we're going to make that a kennel for our schnauzers.
Damn. Yeah, so Carol and Frank's first home together, Steve, it's going to be much different once they leave. So that's something they got to think about. You don't really think about that when you're selling a house, but they're starting to see that if they leave this place, it's not going to exist. It's going to be like the Beetlejuice house. The Dietzes are going to come in and they're just going to knock the fucking thing over, Steve. There's going to be one room left.
Yeah, like why even get the house? I'm stuck on that. But in the next scene, Carol, she's on the couch looking at photo albums. Frank comes down, he can't sleep. They're just reminiscing of the memories, the good memories that they had living in the house.
They keep talking, they're looking. I'd try to at least get a titty out if I'm Frank, to be honest. Like, you're up late.
Why not?
Make some great memory. This might be one of your last nights in the house for all you know, for God's sake. But instead, after they talk and they reminisce, Carol's like, you can tell she's on the fence. And Frank finally is like, you know what? I don't like this. These people are going to fucking massacre this house. I love this house. And they basically are like, even though this other place is fantastic, it's the perfect house. It's everything that you could possibly want in a new house, blah, 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 blah. They're like, it doesn't matter. They also bring up the thing that I was thinking is like, most of these fucking kids are like about ready to move out. So why are you trying to get a bigger house? You don't need all that. You could have 5 fuck rooms after most of these kids go to college or whatever. You're good.
Yeah. Well, we know at least one of them's not going to college. And while they're talking, Lily has a drawing on the table. He's like, look, she drew a duck on top of a microwave. And Carol looks at it like, no, that's a little blonde girl crying, watching a moving van.
And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. And then right on time, because she can sense when her name is said, like Candyman, Lily comes down the stairs. She can't sleep either, Steve. Carol's like, Lily, and they basically like are asking her questions. Like, we can tell that you don't want to move. Why wouldn't you say anything? She's just like, well, everybody's so excited. I didn't want to like let anybody down. She's very like cute here, Steve.
Plus, nobody recharged my batteries.
Yeah. Plus, I haven't fully done the whole seance in the basement to get into the body the way I need to. That's it, Steve. They're settled. Lily doesn't want to move. The Lamberts, they're not moving. But there's this one thing, though, where they're basically in contract on this house with the douche couple. But they have one walkthrough. So basically what they got to do is unsell the house,
And then when they mention the drawing to Lily, it's like, the little girl watching the moving van. And Lily says, like, no, that's a duck on top of a microwave.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
This ain't Salvador Dali shit. But now it's on, Steve. This is the mission. It's Mission Impossible time. The couple's coming for their final walkthrough. Frank has the whole family on board. they've got this shit set up like dirty work almost. Maybe they were going to find a dead hooker. That might have been the last thing.
Some fishes in the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's just some homeless guy that just comes in and takes a dump every once in a while, but he's cool. He'll leave you alone. The people get there and they're trying to play it cool. And Frank's showing them around. He's like, yeah, just check out everything. Look at everything. Like the sink here, for instance. Maybe check that first. And they're like, no, I think it's not turned off all the way. So maybe you just like do that. So the guy touches it and it just blasts him. It's a bidet, Steve.
Knobs just break off. And then Mark, the only time we see him in this episode, he comes down with some galoshes on and he's like, look, Frank, upstairs toilets are all plugged up again. And the couple's like, what the fuck? Like, y'all got a shitty sewer system? Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because it's not just the toilets. It's like this whole block. A lot of people got their whole house smelling like doo-doo. So yeah, that's not a big a deal. Be all right.
It's like 1 or 2 times a week. Once you get used to the smell, you don't even notice it. So don't even worry about that. And so that people are looking around, and Frank rigged the table, like their kitchen table, to just fully collapse for like they touch something, but it just collapses. And the couple's like, oh my God, I'm not paying for this table. I'm not paying for this. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's just the termites.
Yeah. This is our 3rd table this week. So yeah. I mean, y'all got the bread, like y'all dress nice. I'm seeing you got the designer shoes on. Yeah, just Big Lots is just right down the street. And then the termites, and man, I forgot, man, those fruit-eating worms.
Yeah, they came in a fruit basket, and then damn things, we can't get rid of them. We threw Mark at him. Like usually that works. He's basically just kills anything he sees, but it's not working. But you guys are going to be fine. You guys are going to just make a couple of changes. They'll probably leave as soon as we leave.
They might leave holes in your walls, but man, these kind of things come with the old house.
Yeah, it's fine. And then Steve, the moaning starts. It's very fucking. It's not well done. I feel like, is somebody fucking moaning? Like, is somebody okay?
That's Lily in her 17 voices.
Yeah, she's actually just reading. That's what it sounds like.
Exercising.
But the moaning starts, and Frank's like, guys, one other thing that we forgot about, got kind of a poltergeist situation where this place was built on an Indian burial ground, and they did move the headstones, but those bodies are still there. So you're going to hear some weird shit every once in a while, but it's fine. You might get pulled into a TV, but there's a midget lady that we can call that will be able to help us out. Okay.
Kathy and Howard, that's their name. So now Kathy and Howard, they're completely out. Like, yeah, the deal is off. We're done and doneer. And as they're walking out, Lily comes in with a rat on her neck.
They're back. Luckily, she had a knife behind her back, Steve. She was gonna kill them just as a last resort, but she didn't have to. It worked. The grift works, Steve.
And I don't know talking about little child.
But, no, it's okay. She's not good, Steve. She's evil incarnate. She might be redheaded, and that might be where we're sensing it. But here's my thing. What are the financial ramifications of being in contract and backing out? Like, did Frank possibly like lose some money or make some money, or did the douche couple? I don't know. I'm just bringing up some random, like they just walked away, Steve. But poop smell. Sink that's throwing water at you like a fucking banshee, little kid who may or may not have the ability to speak to rats. It's all just not. It's not that. Yeah, dude, she's the rat queen. But they're gonna get to stay, Steve. Frank, he's not gonna get that dream house, but he's gonna get to stay in his house with his family, Steve.
We see the Lambert family one last time in the closing credits, and he feels like he let some of the family down. He knew how the girls felt about this new house, so he got them gifts, consolation prize. Yep. Frank got Dana a can crusher. He got Al a poster of a lake. He got Karen a compact 3-way mirror so she could look at herself looking at herself. And Karen, she opens the fridge and is flirting with her again. You're so hot, you're melting my ice cream.
Yeah, I mean that's cute and all, but then 3 months later, when it's like this won't shut the fuck up, and it's like you're so hot.
You keep going downstairs at 3 a.m. What the fuck is going on with you in
The
that
fucking
fridge?
batteries are running out. It sounds like Satan's complimenting me now. I don't like this.
I didn't
Um,
program that voice. Like, what's going on?
But yeah, Steve. I mean, I don't know. We didn't get Cody.
No
We didn't
code
get Codemeister in it, but for a last episode, it's fine. It checked all the boxes. It gave
What
we
were
had
all the
to do
boxes?
with Lily. I would have rather just had like some JT and Stacey Keenan back and forth. A little more of that. They had a little bit, but it wasn't great.
You got to have that's kind of like their angle, like, that's how it started from day one, man. So you're right, they didn't have enough of that. They really didn't have to do the cousin Oliver thing, man, because all the kids are grown, the girls and the mom, they're hot. So our focus was on that. Like, there's no need to bring another kid in here. You already had Brandon, who you guys like killed. I think that's where Lily made that sacrifice. She's got some demons, man.
I think what happened is that she killed Brandon, and they were like, "Look,
Yeah.
we got this. We got a kid. We lost a kid. We got a kid. We just got to accept it. She's pure evil, but she seems to be pretty cool with us. So let's just ride this wave."
She caught a body. And also in 1998, Buffalo 66 premieres. After being released from prison, Billy is set to visit his parents with his wife, whom he does not actually have. This provokes Billy to act out as he kidnaps the girl and forces her to act as his wife for the visit. Directed by Vincent Gallo, starring Vincent Gallo, Christina Ricci, Ben Gazzara, Mickey Rourke, Rosanna Arquette, Jan Michael Vincent, and Angelica Houston.
Strange movies, Steve. Vincent Gallo makes strange movies.
He's a strange guy.
That's his thing. I've read a lot where I guess he's a really tough guy to work with. I think
Yeah.
Christina Ricci didn't really enjoy it. She seems to be pretty vocal about that. Here are the things I like about Buffalo 66. It's a simple story. I think it's an interesting story. I'm going to kidnap this chick and make her be my girlfriend. And then it just works out.
Yeah, she actually grows fond of the guy who kidnapped her, and she's kind of going along with it.
Well, and like Vincent Gallo's character in this he's an unlucky, sad dude. He went to jail. He's just getting out of jail. He got in with like a bookie or something, I think, because a kicker for Buffalo like lost a game or something. So he's had an unlucky life. He's a disappointment. I don't think his parents knew he was in jail. I think that's part of the story too, where he's not being truthful with them. He's kind of meek around them. They constantly are berating him, which I think is why Christina Ricci initially starts like liking him a little bit. It's almost like she starts feeling bad for him because he's kind of pathetic. But as they keep going through this lie, it just like love happens, And by the end of this movie, and this is what I wanted to ask you about it, because I watched the end. I didn't watch this full movie. I didn't want to do that because I had seen it. But the end, when he's in the donut shop, you watch this.
Yeah.
Did it give you vibes of Boogie Nights?
It did, actually, for that part.
That whole thing, like when Don Cheadle's like the way he interacts with the donut, he's like, "What is this?" Oh man, that's he's like very like happy and stuff. It was almost like it almost was like he pulled the script for that part and just was like doing it almost.
It also reminded me a little bit of Harmony Korine's work, particularly Gummo, one of my favorite like underground movies, man, because the characters, they were unique, man, like, but at the same time authentic. Like,
and it's dirty looking the way his movies are, but in a stylized way. It's like, I don't know if it was on purpose. Like, I feel like this was his first movie, so he didn't have a lot of money, but what it looks like is not, it looks like student movie-esque, but it still looks cool. Like, it's got a grittiness to it.
Well, even though it was done in the 90s, it gives you that 70s/60s, the richness from those movies from that era, because what he used was a reversal film, and reversal film is pretty expensive to buy and to develop and all of that stuff, man. But like a big part of his budget went to that.
Yeah, and I know shooting this was a hell on earth for the people that did it, because I guess he's very hard, like a demanding dude. One thing I'd also like to point out as a dude, Christina Ricci in this movie, so hot. Let's just say voluptuous, Steve. Just gorgeous. As a little kid, and I saw her in Casper and had a crush on her. When I grew up, this was what I wanted to see as a grown like teenager, where I was like, oh yeah, Christina Ricci, oh yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had a crush on her since Wednesday Addams. And speaking of which, this is the third time she's worked with Angelica Houston because of Addams Family and Family Values. And Angelica Houston, her role as the Buffalo Bills loving, just crazy mom, it reminded me of the Allison Janney movie where she plays the mom of Tanya Harding.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Like
also
that,
it reminded me of Natural Born Killers, like when you saw I don't know, just like the shitty
Rodney.
like Rodney Dangerfield. It
Yeah.
wasn't as wacky as that.
But the dad
Yeah.
was pretty creepy because he's like, "Yeah, come here, daughter."
That guy's been in some shit too. And Mickey Rourke, I feel like looked cool in this.
Before the whole
Before the cat phase, before the insane surgeries that he's gone through, this was still like a early '90s Mickey Rourke. And interesting fact about him in this, I guess he was going through some tough times and got this small part. And I guess Vincent Gallo had to pay him in cash in like a brown bag because he needed the money. So he needed like money quick. This is like I need this fucking, I need it now. Okay.
maybe we need to pay a bookie.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely, but I don't know if I would even recommend this, but as somebody who likes movies, like if you like film and just like, I don't know, have an appreciation for that part of it, I think this movie's decent. It's a great first movie. I think it's better than the other movie he's known for that's called Brown Bunny. I'm not a huge Vincent Gallo fan, but there's some stuff to love in this.
I would recommend it. I mean, because it's like you said, for film lovers, if you like a good story. And another person to mention in this movie, I think he's been a silent killer in the night. Like we talked about John Goodman being a silent killer. Kevin Corrigan, because he's not a blockbuster name, dude, he has been a part of some big shit. Of course, he was in this movie, even though he decided to go uncredited. He was in that Living in Oblivion student film movie that we all watched. He was in Bad Boys. He was in Goodfellas, actually. He played Michael Hill, I think Henry's like little cousin or nephew. He was in Buffalo 66. He was in Detroit Rock City. He was in a lot of shit through the 90s.
He was in The Departed too.
He was in The Departed.
He was the fucking shitty cousin. He was in Pineapple Express. Yeah, dude, that guy is a silent killer. He was always like, I definitely worked with Scorsese, but he's somebody that was in a lot of shit and in like some funny like TV shows too. He's a funny dude.
Wasn't he in Freaks and Geeks, or am I? No, he wasn't. I'm tripping.
He was in a show called Grounded for Life. He was in
Grounded for Life.
Cool dude. Yeah, I'm not going to say I wouldn't recommend this movie. It's just it's a strange one.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Also in 1998, Dr. Dolittle premieres. A doctor discovers that he can communicate with animals. Directed by Betty Thomas, starring Eddie Murphy, Ossie Davis, Oliver Platt, Kyle Pratt, Raven Simone, Peter Boyle, and Jeffrey Tambor. I mean, not to mention a list of celebrity voice actors. Long list.
Yeah, I mean, Norm Macdonald, Chris Rock, Leguizamo, Albert Brooks. Yeah,
Gary
it's
Shandling.
all. We even got Bill Murray's brother, Brian Doyle Murray.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Paul Rubens is in this. We were talking about him
rapper.
earlier. I don't know. I was a huge Nutty Professor fan, and I feel like this was just a little more family friendly than that movie was. That movie was family friendly, but there was also some really like just fun stuff, like Dave Chappelle's character, the whole shit with that.
Yeah.
Shit locks, Reggie.
Enemy shopping.
Loving you. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This wasn't a terrible movie, but this is not like something I was really a huge fan of.
I mean, this is a part of Eddie Murphy's resurgence. You know, he hit it big with Nutty Professor, and then Dr. Dolittle, that did numbers. 71 million as the budget, 294 million in the box office. I've always been a fan of Kyla Pratt and Raven Simone. I had a crush on Raven Simone. That's the only reason why I watched That So Raven. Them tig old biddies, them yiddies was Gideon. And I appreciate the star-studded voice acting. This was my first time watching it over the week. Again, man, I don't think Eddie Murphy ever fell off. He had maybe some clunkers. Holy Man, I don't know if that fell in the 90s. And then the Pluto Nash, he could have done without. But, man, the dude has range. Comedians, time and time again, they prove that they can touch on certain sensibilities, man. Like a Robin Williams, a Jim Carrey. Hell, Tom Hanks started off as a comedic actor initially.
Yeah, and I mean, also, this is a remake, so that could be just a huge hunk of shit, and this is not that. I mean, this is a good movie for what it is. You know, it's just a family movie. I think we all have our favorites of his, and Mind Veer a little more with a little more cursing in it, you know, but this is still is what it, and like you said, the amount of talent in it, even just with like the voice acting, is wild, you know.
Howard Stern was actually offered a chance to voice the hamster. That would have been interesting.
Do you know what I do to you? He's just trying to get two animals to have sex, like as a hamster. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
look
Like
at
to
those
put
nipples. Look at those nipples.
like to put some wood chips on your asshole.
Can I throw baloney on your ass?
Also in 1998, Out of Sight. You like how I segue, huh? Out of Sight premieres. A career bank robber breaks out of jail and shares a moment of mutual attraction with the U.S. Marshal he has kidnapped. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez, Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle, Dennis Farina, Albert Brooks, and Steve Zahn.
This is a low key movie, Steve.
It's cool.
It's not an exciting movie, but I like a Clooney vehicle. Working with Ving Rhames. There's some
Cheadle?
funny shit. There's a moment in this where a guy trips up the stairs and shoots himself in the face. And that's great. To be honest with you, Steve, this is why I like this movie. This movie was not made by Quentin Tarantino. He had nothing to do with it, but it is a Elmore Leonard novel. And a cool little go-between is that Michael Keaton plays a very small role in this as a detective who is the same detective and character that was in Jackie Brown, Ray Nicolette.
I do appreciate that. And we get some Samuel Jackson, even though he's not Ordell Roby, he comes in at the very end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that Michael Keaton thing, that actually took like movie studios working together, because that's not like something you're usually able to do. Is like, hey, this character, it's not like Marvel where you can be like, yeah, put fucking Luke Skywalker in this bitch. We own everything. Like they actually had to make that happen. I don't even know why they did it, but that was cool as shit. I like that.
Because he was only in one scene, right? Like, but they
he's just there to be like, I'm this cop, and you just hear his name. Like they don't really mention anything else, but it's like, holy shit.
My favorite part in this movie is when they're in jail and they're punking out Albert Brooks' character, and George Clooney, he's trying to talk them out of like bullying dude. It's like, hey man, like he does you no good if he's dead. Well, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to die. He could slip and fall on something hard, like a shiv on my dick.
Get out, Albert. Get out of there. Yeah, and it's got a lot of cool people in it. Like it's Don Cheadle's great in it. Everybody is good in this movie. It's just like, I don't know. It's not even a gangster movie. It's got gangsters in it, but it's just a love movie. It's these two people that just are like into each other. But they can't, Steve. They just can't.
The Jennifer Lopez part, and she's a big part of the movie. That's like the part that makes it kind of lame to me. Like I like the gangster shit when they're like, you know, having heist and shooting up the place, but like it just seems unrealistic that this convict just falls in love with the U.S. Marshal. When she comes into the bathroom, he's in the tub, she's got the gun, and he just kisses her. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it is cheesy. But one other cool Quentin Tarantino connection, Steve, if I may, they show George Clooney's mugshot, and it's his mugshot from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Which is dope. So clearly Soderbergh loved Tarantino, or they loved each other. I don't know exactly how all that stuff made it into the movie, but that's to me the coolest part. You know, Soderbergh's a beast. He makes good movies. This is not one of my favorites, but there's things to love in this too. You know, and you get Clooney doing Clooney. You get the little like old school Clooney where he had like his little ticks and stuff, you know. He's still doing that shit, being handsome.
He can't help it. But finally, in 1999, the final episode of Doug airs on ABC. Na 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 na.
Yeah, Steve, we were talking about this too. This is it. We didn't last this long. I was a Doug lover back in the day. Old
The Nick days.
days, you know, when it was simple.
It wasn't the same. Every now and then I would check it out, like on the Saturday morning block that they would have on ABC. I was like, man, there's just something about this version of Doug that just doesn't sit well with me.
The theme song wasn't as good. Just the I don't know. There was some like difference in the animation that was minute, but I didn't care for it. They probably took out the creepy neighbor. They just come into my shed, Doug.
Mr. Dink.
Check out this new toy I got. It's a dildo bike. It's crazy. I love the show. Doug's a great character, great show when you were a little kid. And the thing, I didn't watch this episode, Steve, but the thing that I read that I love to see is that this whole thing ends with Doug getting a date with Patty Mayonnaise, Steve.
Uh,
And I love that. Is it going to go well? Probably not. He's probably in 2 weeks going to be like, dude, she bit my fucking dick, dude. I don't even understand what she was thinking. Like, we got to get out of here.
hey, Skeeter, smell this. Is that supposed to smell like that? I don't know.
What is this?
Yeah,
Gee, mister.
it's my first time.
Hey. Oh, Douglas, that's just some residue. She's fine.
Is
Hit
that
it from
normal?
the back. Here's my dildo bike.
Any callbacks for this week, Matt?
yeah. Oh man. Dude, no, my callback is literally we could do the quiz. I think we ought to do that. But my one thing, please watch Unlawful Entry. I can't explain to you why this movie doesn't have more like acclaim, I guess, or whatever, but it's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
And Leota is just horny as all hell in this shit. So
It's Denzel level villainy, man. Now, are you talking about the two-parter? You got the cards ready?
we'll just do the 2-part this time, Steve. It's late. I don't got it in me to do a 15-minute just grudge match of names. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go deeper into the deck here a little bit.
Let's get it.
Let's do this. All right, Steve. Oh, Steve. And here we go. Which twin actresses starred in the 1995 movie It Takes Two?
Oh. Ashley and Mary Kate. For sure, for sure.
And then, Steve, you got this. I know you got this. Who released Pretty Fly, parentheses, for a white guy in 1998?
Cause you know you can, with Ricky Lake. My guys, man. Offspring.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
anything.
Champion, dude. You're a champion.
We's a little juice.
We're gonna have to retire those for a little bit.
But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister. Na 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 na. Check out our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle every Wednesday. Check out Kendra Crushgasm and our guy Ronzilla, Wrestling Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Matt G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the flat kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
I said my name, Steve. Ha.
Step by step.